Hey guys, Deolslyfox is a professional locksmith, lives down in Florida, and he just sent me some kind of interesting locks. Looks like a brand new American 5530, and I got a letter here he sent with it. It says it's got a new cylinder, and in the process a few different quote-unquote pins may have creeped in. So no telling what he's got inside of there. Fox 1 Ugly American. And then he's got a couple of quick sets, looks like. Got his name on them, and it says these two are rehabs that I got out of a Goodwill store. They were both dirty, gunky, and about seized up. I cleaned them, and wouldn't you know it, a bit of alien technology just slid right into both of them. I guess I'm going to have to get my workbench exercised, and I think we might have to do that. Let's go ahead and try this one, I guess. Try to get into it. I got a key tied up here. There's what your wacky bitting looks like. I've got a feeling with alien technology that Deolslyfox puts in here, maybe the key is not even going to help. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing a little bit centered. There we go. That ought to work, and I will try, because it's pretty wide open, deforest pick, and I think, yep, that'll fit. This is like 5. Alright, I'm going to zoom in a little bit because of Geo's pinning skills are what I would expect from a professional locksmith. You're going to see some movement on this. Alright, let's see what we got. All springy. Let me check the bottom to see if he didn't put some kind of weird check pin. Nope. Pin 2. Let me check the rest of them, but I think he's about the only one bound. Yeah, he's the only one bound up. Let me put a little bit of... He really feels seized. I mean, there's no tension on this lock. You can see I got my thumb off the tension wrench, so I'm going to uncock it. Maybe it's really threaded in there, I guess. I'm going to uncock it. There, I got a click out of it. Yeah, we got at least one threaded cylinder there, and it's really sharp edges on that. Again, I'm on 3. Wow. Fair 4. Got a click out of it. I think we're looking at some serrated here inside of threaded cylinders. I'm on 3. Tiny bit of feedback. Click out of him. No turn on the core though. 4 again. Got a click out of him. 5, a little bit of feedback. Got a click out of him. 5 again. And here we go. I'm betting all serrated. Let me back the camera out. I'm betting threaded cylinders and serrated pins. Didn't take a lot, hardly any feedback. I think we got feedback off of 2 pins. That's about it. Alright, we do have a key. Let me go ahead and pry this off of here. And get the pinning tray. Okay. Okay, there's our 5 pins. Serrated. Tiny little serration. I would call that standard. Serrated, standard, and standard. Nothing too spectacular. Alright, let me get a light on here. I think you can see that we have some threads on. It looks like 2 has a counter milling on it. 3 is standard, a little bit of rounded there. I don't know if that's supposed to do anything, doesn't look like it, but 4 and 5 both have, I can't tell, it looks like counter milling. Or at least threading, but I would say those are all counter milled. So that would be, what was it again, 2, 4, and 5 counter milling. Put that in the right place. And let's see what Deolslyfox has put up inside of here. A standard. A T-pin. Looks like a homemade serrated slat with a spool on one end. A spool, also homemade. And just looks like a standard with a couple of little lines. I can't believe that would do anything. Springs look to be all standard. They're all sticking up about the same height. The back one fell out, but it's a standard spring too. Put that back in there. So anyway, that's what we're looking at. We put that right. That looks like a homemade T-pin. So fellas, there's what we're looking at. Let me move my hand. Maybe you can see a little better. A little bit of serrations there. I'm going to call that a standard pin, but this is, if you look closely, let me put that down on my hand. Maybe we can get the camera to cooperate. This pin is not a standard T-pin. I can turn that. You see that it's actually larger on this end than on that end. So that if that grabs up in the shear line, that's going to be a little difficult to get out. And I think that's the one that was, I had to pick it about 3 times. The other one here is a homemade. It looks like serrated, but kind of a spool on that end. Homemade spool, not too deep. And then that probably acted a lot like a standard, but that was a threaded chamber or a counter milled chamber. Maybe those 2 little grooves grabbed. Anyway, Deolslyfox, thank you, sir. We got, that was number Fox 3. So let me pin that back. I may throw in a couple pieces of magic myself and send it out to the next poor sucker. Fellas, thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay legal. Deolslyfox, thank you for the lock, sir. Fellas, I got an addendum. As I was getting ready to reassemble this lock, I was wondering why we had this alien spooge on the top here, and he apparently had the top off. Because when I started looking inside it, I'll try to get the light just right. I don't know if you can see that, but the last chamber is threaded, and so is chamber number, it looks like number 3 has threading in it as well. Yep, I think you can just make out the threading in the top of it there. So this lock is a little bit more devious than what you might think. Anyway, thanks again.